This boy and girl are going to be well equipped when the time comes to take their places as worthy members of adult society.
Aloha, y'all. This is Daniel Eisenman, the host of the Breaking Normal podcast, where my guests are all invited based on the frequency of synchronicity, all done in person, and all trailblazers in the breaking of all things normal. Welcome to the Breaking Normal podcast, the podcast, and I think this is episode number 184. This is definitely the second episode I've done with Dustin Hogart.
Oh, with a D.
With a D. That's how you spell your name. And that's but that's not how someone finds you on Instagram, for instance. I thought it was Wazoo Gear, or they said
that's one of the companies, yeah.
Oh, you have those two separated?
Yeah, I have I have my own personal account.
All right, so we're here with Dustin, founder of Wazoo Gear. Co-founder of Wazoo Gear. And I'm not flustered. I'm actually very relaxed because of the flustering 30 minutes we just had. Could you explain your your entrance into the Breaking Normal podcast today? I don't know if our producers are going to love it, but I think it's a great story, and we had a few great conversations while it was happening.
So, do you want to make this a mutual story where we tell why we're in this space right now? Because we almost weren't in this space?
Yeah. I would like to hear that from your perspective. Like, what just happened if you were going to tell this story to your best friend? Like, well, it's a funny thing. This is how the podcast started.
You guys, I got extra parts for you guys too that you don't know about yet. They're kind of hilarious. So, we show up. I'm sorry, what's your name? Eovel.
Podcast producer of Let's Do Podcast, baby.
Eovel was here on the phone with somebody who didn't seem too happy that he was on the phone with him. He was telling him, I'm about to be at the hospital. I'm sorry, I can't help you. So I think he was trying to get help from somebody. And that was like maybe the last ditch we had as an option for getting in because the door was locked. We were locked out of the studio and nobody else was answering the phones, the people who have other keys. So not really an option, but I was like, well, hey, I got a lockpick kit. So I ran in my car and got a lockpick kit and brought that back as well as some other stuff. And we started playing with the lockpick on it. We didn't know really what we were doing. I kind of know a little bit of lockpicking. And have you lockpicked before? Okay, never even lockpicked? Never lockpicked before.
He seems skeptical.
And I've only lockpicked a little bit, like as a hobby with like hobby locks and stuff. But I kind of know the kit. But I think we knew the basics. And I was sending pictures to a friend who does know lockpicking really well, and so he was giving us advice. But it wasn't working out really. You came in and we tried other things too. We tried other tools, implements to try and get in. It wasn't working. And so we decided to go see if there's another space in the area. We go, and you can fill in some more blanks, but I was going to get to the juicy part.
Keep going.
Yeah. So we go check out a place. We're kind of sold on it. Let's go do the podcast over here instead on top of this parking garage. Come back. We're trying to talk him into it. And I think you were videoing at the time, yes. Something. You were like just kind of videoing the moment. And he was like looking back at us and we were like, okay, dude, but here's the options. We're going to use our phones. You're going to be here and we got batteries. We were trying to figure out logistics and then the door opens.
And then you have us in frame, right? Dusty, what are you up to today, right? Dusty starts talking. Start talking, Dusty.
Oh, I'm on our podcast right now. I'm on top of a building.
Yovel, what do you have to... Yo! Let go! I knew it! You always would let go! It's always when you let go! Okay, all right, we did it. All right, podcast now.
Wait, what? And he picked the lock somehow. And here's the deal you guys don't know. I got pictures of this. The way you picked that, you had two different of the jigglers inside, and they were both. I texted my friend that picture, and I can't wait to hear what they say because that is in no way, shape, or form a traditional way you would ever pick a lock at all. The way you jammed in to the tools, and but did it? I saw that happen. Did you see that happen too?
Yeah, I think it's on video too. I just haven't even thought about watching it yet.
Did I miss anything in that story?
Some notable moments for me were, first of all, I walked into a new business that's doing detox massage because I was about to finagle my way into one of their rooms to do and the parking deck was beautiful and that was noteworthy. But along the way, I was explaining to you that we really gave it our go. We did what we could. So maybe we need to surrender and look for other options. And I'm and then I start telling them, I'll tell you what. That's been a theme in my life. Like, it seems like when I really send it, and I send it in a way that's still healthy. I'm not saying like go beyond my capacity, but I really give a full effort to do something, to make something, whether it's a business or an event or a meetup or this podcast.
And you were giving it a go, man. We were trying everything.
Yeah. So I try to hustled my butt off for like 15 minutes and just stayed aligned with like intuition and telling you this story. But it's like funny when you surrender, that's when I usually get something better. And then, so here I am, I surrendered. I come downstairs to convince Yovel, this is why we're going to do the video upstairs like this. I had fully surrendered. And right when I fully surrendered and was like ready to move on to the other option, that door just somehow, like you said, somewhat beyond professionally broke normal and opened up. And Yovel was obviously not the most stoked about it, but I aimed to explain to you and him, and I genuinely mean it, that was a very big upgrade for me, because how we all navigated the experience together. And I think that we all have a bit of a problem solving mentality archetype to us. And I knew you had a lot of tools. I know you have a lot of tools on you. I was like, Yovel called me and told me, I'm like, just ask Dustin to bring one of his weapons. I'm sure it's on him and you can break the door down and video it for breaking normal. So welcome back to the podcast.
Yeah. Well, one thing I did learn is I didn't have it on me. I had it in my car, and I debated. I'm kind of switching. I'm kind of testing my own, like a fanny pack with different stuff in it. It's supposed to be traveling and stuff, and so I'm gonna make sure that stays in the pack. We almost didn't happen because I didn't have the Inspector Gadget immediately on me at the time.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this a little bit on the last show, and because of your company, Wazoo Gear, I'm very curious of what, and I think maybe part of your intention with the company is to have people have the gear on them that's the most useful and like the most minimalistic way. That's how I kind of see it. Is that true?
Yeah, dude, you nailed it.
Okay, great. And so, did you bring some of these tools that someone could have on them? Because I brought you some tallow.
Oh, cool.
Plain tallow.
Yeah, it almost feels like one of those. I'm not showing you stuff. I'm giving you stuff. This is like gifts. That'd be weird if it was like like just pulling out all my stuff. I don't want to be too bragworthy.
I'm curious about top three tools. Top 3 tools.
Yeah, I didn't bring the top 3 tools.
Maybe you can tell us in the show a few things you brought. Yeah.
But these are the things that I thought you would like.
Show them that thing that we tried to pick the lock with.
Okay, so it was working pretty good.
Because I've opened up doors before with a card, but anyways, that didn't work. It was part of it getting to the process. It did work though. So anywho,
there were other things that were tried. There were previous light bulb attempts before.
Oh, I also brought caviar. Would you want a little bit? Salmon eggs?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. And I'm doing this partly because I'm thinking about putting this in capsules.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I mean, this is one of these foods.
Will you still get to bite into them and actually taste the caviar if you want?
It'll be freeze dried. It would be freeze dried, but this is just raw caviar. So I'm gonna have a spoon while you take some things out of there. Yovel, would you like some fish eggs? Why don't you come make an appearance and show us how to eat it? Okay, hold on. I got him. Last time I brought raw bison heart and he didn't have any, but now.
The temper of the body. Take caviar.
People are gonna be wondering whose head that is.
You put here, over here, and then you let it sit like for 20 seconds, and then you eat that. But this is caviar is a big. Most of the caviar they are really small. The quality of small fishes.
Mm-hmm. This is from salmon.
Yeah.
Wild salmon, I believe. I was gonna hopefully get on camera.
You just disappeared on me.
Would you like a double? Another?
Try that. It's better.
All right, I'll try that. While, anyways, do you eat much caviar?
Occasionally, but I mean, like once a year. Sometimes I'll have an event where I'm like, I'm gonna take caviar.
It seems like a superfood, kind of like liver and testicles and oyster.
Yeah.
And
what are the benefits? What are the things
of this?
Yeah.
Well, my imagination is I'm going to get all the micronutrients that I want, almost like eating an egg. If this can create a whole nother salmon, another whole wild salmon, there's got to be something there. I'm not going to regurgitate a bunch of data to you though.
The younger the better on the food, on the eggs. Is that your?
It's got so much fat. It's got to be like a great prenatal.
Is it just like do they ever dry it for other encapsulation purposes?
I know one other company that does it. And it's a very expensive product. But I'm excited to potentially get involved.
Well, that's good stuff.
It's so salty too.
I like how salty it
How
is.
like how nutritious. I'm like, maybe someone can leave a comment and tell me something about caviar that I don't know. I'm interested to learn more, and I'm interested in what you got in that magic box there. It almost looks like you got some kind of cream in there.
Well, I guess we'll exchange creams.
Okay.
So
Yours looks like camel semen.
you got to try a little bit of this. And I told you I'd get you some.
What is this? Is this just like
It's a tallow or a fat. I don't think it's a tallow. I think it's just a fat. It's rendered fat from. You remember you tasted it at the barbecue or at the birthday party.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe was it in the meat? I don't know
Bear
if bear. This is bear fat.
Bear
Wow.
grease.
Whoa. Wait, you were? I didn't have this at the barbecue.
I think you took a pinky full. Remember we were cooking with it, and that was what was in the mason jar.
Whoa. So this is bear fat
Uh-huh.
that you rendered,
I had a friend who rendered it.
and
He
you've
did a
been
really
eating
good
this.
job. Huh?
And you've been eating this.
Yeah, you ate some.
It's so not smelly.
And,
That's why I'm like, is this like tallow?
taste it. Put your pinky in it.
Well, give me a moment for a second. This is the first time I've ever eaten bear.
I don't think so, dude. I think you
And
had it just a few days ago.
knowing, I don't. You must be
You-
mistaking
you-
me with someone else. I did not remember you telling me this is bear fat, and I stuck my pinky and had some.
Okay.
The last time I stuck my pinky and had something was honey yesterday.
Okay.
And that honey is good. I
Okay.
gotta get you some of that. Anyways, let me take a sip of this.
Yeah.
And so tell me about this bear. Before
I don't know much about it. Is
Okay.
it a friend rendered it? Bear fat is got all kinds of benefits to it. I'm not gonna try and go down the salmon roe thing either. But it's a high smoke rate, high smoking temp. It's good for. I mean, it lasts like shelf life is like longer than almost all other fats. Doesn't go rancid if properly rendered. Was used to be used. There's a guy who has bear. I don't think I've listened to it, but the podcast is called Bear Grease.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I listened. I listened to him on a different podcast, but the entire podcast is like based on bear grease and bear fat. So if you want to know more, there's a whole podcast based on it.
Yeah.
I think.
And
At
then
least just named it.
I know there's some people are concerned about eating bear. Like, what's the if undercooked bear? What is that? The concern of? Trichomonas?
People throw that out there. I don't know if that's
All right. So, but even with bear fat, that means it's been cooked for a long time and rendered and safe.
Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking about other people's questions, and I'm going to try some of this now.
Yeah, I'm sure that
And I'm
one
very
dude who has.
thankful
I'm
for
sure the
this.
guy who has a podcast on it has an entire episode on any
There we
negative
go.
effects or
It
potential
has
issues.
no smell.
It's very clean fat.
Wow, it's smooth, very clean. It's not as hard as tallow unless it's been in a hot temperature. It's like softer. It's almost like an emu oil, like between an emu oil and a tallow.
I scooped it out of my jar into that jar with a butter knife.
Wow.
And it was in the fridge before.
Oh wow. Well, I'm very thankful for this. Holy moly. Have you ever hunted bear?
No, I've hung out with a lot of bear, but never hunted
I
them.
had a few run-ins myself. You want to try that tallow?
Yeah.
Tell me what you like about that tallow.
Oh, this is a
Come on.
whipped.
That's the unscented. So this is
Oh,
two
this is my jam.
ingredients. It's pure 100% grass-fed, grass-finished bison kidney fat and organic emu oil whipped into what I trust is
You can see.
I trust it's a good consistency.
Oh, that's incredible.
Cool. Great for after that sauna too. That'd be
Great for when I just ran around. Got a little hot and flustered.
Yeah.
Running around, man. Feels good on the face. That's what I love about your tallow is that it doesn't feel greasy. It really does feel so much like your natural oil.
That's what I hear. That's what most people say about like other tallows. Why they like this one better is that, and that there's no smell, like no.
I like
barn.
this clean bare bones. Yeah, and it doesn't have any kind of tallow cowness to it.
Yeah. Well, it's good to barter with you.
Yeah.
I love bartering. I bartered some honey and tallow yesterday.
Can I give you a few other things that I thought you might like?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
cool.
And you do have a little tallow on your left eyelid. If you're, this one.
Which one is it? On left?
Yeah, right there, that corner. You got it. Nice.
Okay. You seem like a Viking-ish kind of dude. So
Wow.
this is a stone that's a sharpening stone. And it has like different facets for sharpening various things. You can open it if you want. But I picked that one out. Every stone is unique. We get these made in Arkansas. These are quarried in Arkansas and cut to our spec, and then we weave them up here, and they're a sharpening stone, and they're based on an actual. The Vikings used to all carry stones. Viking burial weave people. They used to carry stones. It was one of the more common things found in the burials. Is these stones with holes in them that they carried around. They called them hone stones.
Neat packaging. Is this
that one also has
to start a fire?
Yeah, that also has a fire starter on it, and we can take it off if you just want to go bare Viking.
Okay, this is first of all great packaging. So where do people get this
notice
kind
there's
of
no
stuff?
plastic in that packaging.
I do notice that.
There's not a piece of plastic in there. Like nobody else does that.
I am talking about.
That was a pain. My business partner did a great job designing those.
Wazoo.
People talk about like not having plastic in their packaging, and then like we actually did it. And it's hard. Look at you can imagine how hard it is to not have a window. You want to be able to see the product, and so it was a feat of engineering.
First of all, let me just wear this for a second. I'm very thankful for this. Thank you.
And dude, the stone is. Is there a way we can get just a cup of water? I want to show you what the stone will look like after you wear it. If we dip it, that one's got like a red, white, and blue. It's really cool. I picked that one out for you. It just looks so cool. It kind of has this yin. So it has this.
I am red, white, and blue today.
Yeah, you see the white and black. It's kind of the one I like to wear.
I'm like matching this right now. I don't know if you can see my
it looks,
shorts up there.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a.
Show those off. It's like a tallow and like dirt everywhere.
You see how yours is dark and light on the bottom and like I really like that style, the yin yang, kind of like the two color.
I love it.
So if you dip that, it'll kind of mimic what it's going to look like. Look at it now, and then look when you dip it, and all the colors and all the other patterns will come out of it.
All right, let's see if we can actually show this off on camera too. Are we good? All right, cool. Taking a look, and then take it out.
Yeah. So that's what will happen after you wear it. It'll naturally patina with your oils, and all those other colors. That's an orange that comes out in the bottom, and it'll get darker. And
wow. It reminds me a lot of like Boulder Creek too, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Especially because I know how the stones change there.
Yeah, when they're wet.
Yeah, because we take some out and put some back in. Wow. Okay. Amazing.
It looks cool on you, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate you for bringing this.
I thought about that. I thought that would look cool, and that's functional. It's a fire starter and a sharpener and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow.
And then this is for your daughter. So. This is a bandana. We make this in the USA also. It's a bandana that we also it's for learning tracking. People love to do this with their kids. It makes it just so much fun because most animals are only active at night, right? So when you're out in the woods, there's so much sign and prints that you can kind of like see the story. But when you're in the woods, most animals aren't around. Most of the time they're around when you're not around. So you can tell the rest of the story. So it's fun to learn with kids because you can just be looking at the creek bed and you're like, look, he went over here, and then look at the bird feathers. He must have caught him. So.
It's a gift for both of us, so thank you very much.
People love to do that with their kids, so it's a really cool thing to do. And that one's got a mat also sewn onto it, so that you can use it practically to like kneel on, sit on. You can sit on the wet grass or whatever.
I love this. This is awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Did you know there's otters in Boulder Creek? River otters? Allegedly there are, and I think I saw one day.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying I think because I did see it. It just didn't seem real. I was like, that is an otter. Someone showed it to me. I was like, that's a beaver. I'm like, that's not a beaver. That's an otter. And then I looked it up, and they're like, apparently there's a few otters that every once in a while people see.
Is that the species? Is river otter?
I think so.
Okay. Because the one in the Amazon is the giant river otter, right?
Anyways, this is awesome. Thank you for that. Man,
thanks for your otter story.
And thank you too for like the whole studio here, because it just makes it so much cooler to do barters and like so people can actually see. And I'm seeing this as a theme that's coming in this podcast, like bartering things like stone or fat or honey, like amazing like products that are like kind of immortal products in a way, like better than money in a lot of ways. So thank you.
Yeah, man. And then just a few other things, foraging bandanas to help you forage. And Davina was out there foraging with us the other day, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I kind of was like, she loves that stuff. So yeah. I was happy she wanted to join.
So that has some things. There's two of those. So one for you. I use them all the time. I love the foraging bandana. I'm still learning how to forage. And there's one with a net. So you can actually put stuff in the net too.
Oh yeah, Davina is going to be using this one. Yeah. I'll put that one right there so I know. Thank you. Whoa. And all this stuff people can get at Wazoo Gear, wazoogear.com.
You can't get that kind of stone. Not only that's one of a kind, but everything else you can get.
All right. You can look for on my Facebook Marketplace. I'm just joking.
Yeah. People, there's like an aftermarket. For those, yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a really cool thing for a brand if there's that going on.
Some stickers.
Okay, all right, man. Tell me what you're about to do. You said you're about to go. You're like really busy right now, and you were able to sneak this in, and that's why we were committed to getting this show. You're going to Georgia for one thing with a bike or something.
Yeah.
Tell me about this currently. How are you breaking normal currently with this adventure?
Do you do anything special for your birthday?
That's funny you say that. I have one coming up June 1st, and I was thinking about doing something special for this one. I usually just let it organically happen. Like sometimes there's like a surprise party, but like special for me is Davina having a good time, and if I can be with friends, especially the more than usual, and like an epic place in nature. That sounds pretty special for me. Is this something to do with your birthday coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a few years ago. I stole the idea from somebody who they're an ultra runner, and one of the things they did is they ran like their years.
Well, you want to take this thing off? I was
Yeah,
thinking,
is that annoying?
Especially after we demonized plastic, by just letting it go. I was like, let's let that plastic go.
It's becoming useful. So a few years ago, I had heard about somebody who, for their birthday, ran their age, 50 something maybe, and they only provisioned along the way. So they bought water, whatever, at the convenience stores and got the candy bars there.
One step back, sweaty who?
Sweaty?
What are we talking about? A race or something?
Yeah, this is what somebody did for their birthday.
Oh, okay.
This was just like a thing that they did that they said that they do it for every year. They run their years.
Oh, okay.
And they only provision along the way.
Okay.
Like in the city. And so I decided to do that for my birthday. I didn't hit my birthday, but I did a marathon. I never ran really. I hate running. So
okay.
I did that on my birthday, and then the next year I was going to do something. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I like doing a challenge on my birthday.
Okay.
And then the next year I did. I was going to do another runner. I was going to do it my actual birthday years that time, and then I fractured my foot. And somebody I think said we should do it in a wheelchair, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So I did like a half marathon in a wheelchair instead.
Wow.
And then but I really
what year was this?
Last year.
And how many is it?
How many?
Oh, okay, all
that
right.
was a half
so it's just like
marathon.
you're basically committing to a challenge per birthday. Okay,
just
gotcha.
and I don't know. So it's just kind of evolved into like
That's fun. That's crazy.
doing a distance thing. And this year I was going to do swimming, and I didn't get around to doing enough training with swimming. I'm not that great of a swimmer, so. But then a friend invited me to use a cruiser bike, and he was already going to do it in Georgia, and he was telling me what he was going to do, and he invited me along. And so it was like this long distance cruiser bike thing. And so it was going to be in Georgia. We kind of changed the route up and to make it so that when the place I'm going before, we'll cruise from my house, the house I'm at, to his house, and then we'll only do it on these like this cruiser bike that my mom had bought for an ex-girlfriend. And I mean, it meant a lot. It's like the only thing I had left of this relationship. And it was something I kept because my mom had like driven hours to go get this bike for her. And so it had a lot of sentimental value for my mom. And so it's fun because I'll take that bike. I'm going to take that cruiser. And I think I'm going to take it. I think I can take it in luggage.
And how long is this bike? Or do you know where you're going from to?
Yeah,
because I don't know Georgia. Most of my family's there.
Yeah. And it's going to be North Georgia. And I mean, if we took the most appropriate route, it'd probably be about 130 miles.
Okay.
And but he was like, Jason used to be one of the personal trainers for the Navy SEALs, and he does these challenges all the time. And he just likes to do, and he doesn't like to plan ahead of time. He has some rules, kind of doesn't like to plan ahead of time. Sometimes he likes to add a little twist on it. He has a YouTube called On 3, like 1, 2, 3, on go. Cool. It's called On 3, and he does things like that. And so he said, he told me the day, hey, instead of like going navigating there, let's just point north and go north. So I don't know how serious he was about like not using navigation. and just going in the general direction. But that could take a lot longer than 130 miles if we're off.
And do you know the towns you're going from? From what town to what town?
I don't personally know. I'm not from that area.
Right.
He
Well,
does.
North
know
Georgia
that
this time
area.
of the year is going to be freaking beautiful. Are
Yeah.
you talking about like the Blue Ridge area maybe?
No, I don't think we'll quite go through the Blue Ridge. I think we'll be getting up and going up through north from near Athensville. That's where we'll start.
Athens. Near
Athens, sorry.
That's where my
Yeah.
family lives.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, the actual town to be in is Watkinsville.
That's where my family they live right there. It's like
What?
they all in that area.
Oh, I'm there all the time. I love Watkinsville.
What the heck?
My friend has a big event there for bushcraft, and he's hosting just this class this weekend. So I'm going to that
Wow.
first.
Okay, well maybe I can connect you with my brothers or
Dude,
something. They might
Watkinsville,
be-
yeah, everyone knows everybody over there.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of good friends over in Watkinsville, in that area.
And so is it just you and Jason there doing
Yeah.
this? Wow. And do you anticipate this being multiple nights?
Oh, yeah, it has to be. Yeah, I think
like,
it has to be.
like a week or
I don't know how to estimate it. I've only been, I cruised around the bike like 2 days ago. I went like 6 or 7 miles, but it wasn't that hilly. It was around my area.
And a cruiser bike meaning like a beach bike?
Yeah, beach cruiser.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I've got to get another seat on it. This has got like the old like pleather seat on it. This is a Czechoslovak. I think it's like 60s. I reached out. The company is still around. I reached out to him to try to get like the details on it, but it's probably the 1960s. It's a Czechoslovakian bike. It still says Czechoslovakia on it.
I made a wholesale today for Tri Vitamins for the first time to a guy in the Czech today.
In the Czech Republic?
And we just out of the blue.
I like the Czech Republic a lot. Yeah.
I'll give him a shout out. I think that's fair. Adam Raw.
Oh, cool.
He has a supplement company where I think he's like selling donkey milk, raw colostrum. And like maybe the Czech Republic has like looser. I don't know. I've never been there.
It is.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I haven't spent a lot of time there. I've gone there a couple times, and I think I'm going there this year too. I think that's on our route, and I love it. Yeah, I love a lot of Eastern Europe, but Czech Republic especially just still has a special feel to it. I love it.
Wow. Okay. Now, last time we talked, I think you were like you made it like an intention that I was pretty inspired by about you were ready to have a wife and as many kids as possible. Is that what I remember?
Yeah, that was a mission. It worked out. I have to say, like I put that out there in various ways. Like I made like some Instagram posts. Like, I mean, it was soft hearted, but I really did put like a little blank in like a Instagram story that were like send applications here. And I
To
had friends,
date you or for the
like
the potential
like
one?
a potential like what I'm that's
Oh,
I'd
you
say
put
what I'm
this
looking for.
reach out on Instagram?
Huh?
You put this out on Instagram?
Yeah.
I see. All right.
It was on like stories.
Let's
and
rewind 1 second. So you're telling me I interviewed you. When was that? How long ago was that?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Can't remember.
Let's say a year ago.
Yeah.
I think probably
Sure.
a year. And you told me you were looking for a wife to have as many kids as possible, and I thought that was amazing and then like inspiring and bold to say. So then you took action by telling your social media that that's what you're looking for and to send applications to you.
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Yeah. Well, there was like a
Man.
I was gonna make it a whole thing, dude. I was gonna make it a whole thing. Yeah, because there was a TV show that it was looking like we were gonna go on, and that was like part of the thing I was gonna write into the contract. It's like I get to have my like 5 seconds of fame to do a shout out to do my hashtag worldwide wife search or something like that.
Where's the TV show fit into this?
But that was where the idea kind of came from, where I was because I was gonna get some kind of publicity.
Oh, okay. Like you thought,
And I didn't really want to do the thing, but I was like, maybe I can use it for this little mission that I'm kind of going on. That would be like a fun mission to do. It'd be a lot of fun.
Okay. So send the application here through Instagram
Yeah,
story.
I relaxed. I pumped the brakes on push to it, but I did that for a little while. I thought it was like really fun. I thought it was kind of like this thing of everything else in life. When I want something, very clear like about it. Like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is. And I get what I want. I've like been so spoiled my whole life. I kind of get what I want, but I've had to like put it out there and be clear about it. And so I was like, well, why would I not do that with this thing? Like if I'm actually looking for a wife, why don't I just make it very clear? So I got criticism for that, obviously. I mean, it was all fun, but like like when I put in the stories and had like an application, funny enough, like I got some friends who recommended some people, and it's worked out with like one of them in particular worked out really, really well. So
And y'all are together
yeah.
currently. I think I've met her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
at this haunt. Okay,
Uh-huh.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that is a great. I mean, hey.
So
the
the
I'm
application.
trying to think. Can I state that because I think that's I want to state the same thing, like right now.
It works,
Like, is the
dude.
bear fat kicking in? Or...
Well, because how else do you get anything in life? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I think maybe this is like a romantic, magical part of me, putting like having no, like not wanting to put any constraints. You know, like when people like say, this is my type. Oh, they need this, that. And like, you can't dip the pen in company ink. Like, you can't date someone that you're working with. I'm like, what are you like? So I'm like almost anti-rules when it comes. And so I'm not saying that's a rule what you're doing, but like maybe I've been so anti-rule I haven't realized that doesn't mean I can't be more clear publicly. So you're really pushing my edges today here. Got me to eat some bear and tell the world that I do want. Let me see. It's almost so hard. You know, I've been through a lot. On that front. Maybe that might be the personal reason for me that seems so bold. Because I've been through a lot on that front. And it scares me to like even say that, especially like publicly right here on the moment, like in the spot. So maybe I'll get to it by whenever.
I can always share what like my experience and it's kind of funny that it worked out in my favor. So one example.
How many
that was my thoughts.
applications did you navigate through?
Oh, that
If you know.
I know. I'll just say this. I will say that this is an incredible
hit wonder or like
here's a takeaway. Here's a good takeaway. This is incredible. So I've been clear there, and I've also been clear with other friends. Like, hey, this is kind of what I'm looking for, and I say it in like circles. Like if I'm around a campfire, it might come up. Like just put it out there. But I'm not avid. I'm not really actively. I'm not even like I wasn't doing the dating apps really. Like that was not that wasn't an avenue I wanted to really take much more. And anyways, this is only the example that I have is that the people that made recommendations of my friends who said, hey, let me give you this girl's number. Hey, they were all spot on. They knew me, and that's like rare. I don't meet a lot of girls that are my type. And that's pretty awesome. Is that people know you better than you think you know, than that you think that they know you.
I've heard this. I've heard this from really wise people about like this like strategy of like going to the 25 people I'm just making this up, but this is how I remember it. Like you go to the 25 people that know you the most and like tell them to tell you something that you might not know about yourself. And then like you can learn ridiculous amounts. So I can resonate with what you're saying here.
Because when I put it out there, I really wasn't hopeful that was going to be what I was going to learn. Is that there's some people who know me well enough that they know my type, and they and when they see it, they get it. And like there's people who are close to me. I'll throw my dad under the bus on this one. My dad, we've been in places. He's like, you see this? That girl's the opposite of attractive to me.
Oh, interesting.
Or we'll meet and converse with somebody because I've got to travel with my dad in the last couple of years. And then he was like, wow, what do you think about her? And I was like, oh, dude, Dad, like, there's nothing about it. Are you sure? Like name things he thinks is like my style. And I'm like, no.
Does he actually point though? Because my dad has this thing.
Probably. If he's a dad, he's not incognito. That's for sure. He talks too loud and he's making motions that are too obvious.
We've been like in the family, like we've been like at a little dinner. I'm like, do you see that guy back there, like with that blonde curly hair? And my dad like, which one? That one? Everyone's like, what the? What? Oh man, so here's something that I did that I'd be curious to know. And if you have something you want to talk about for sure, make sure to let me know soon because I know the clock is ticking.
I came here for a little bit of self-fulfilling, like to talk about my business, and I did that. I made that excuse of like giving you free stuff and talking about it. So if anyone has any interest in knowing more, then they can look us up. But that was a self-fulfilling marketing role.
You did a great job of. You
look good with it.
I mean, and I'm that much more curious about your company, especially.
We don't sell bear fat.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think because you can't sell like hunted. I guess unless you do it in a hunted with an expector.
I buy a lot of bear fat.
Yeah, from like yeah. Or barter, or like you can buy it.
I could give them cash for it.
We'll have to think about that part, editing that part out or not.
Dude, I've got I think you're probably the same place in life with me as me. Like I don't have a lot of I don't have like a reputation to uphold or anything. People know who
I
we
assume
are.
some of the legalities around wild meats like blew my mind when I've heard about some of the certain nooks and crannies of
I mean,
them.
for my own consumption, if that's the hill I got to die on, if that's what I get cuffed up and put in prison for, is like drinking raw camel milk or buying black bear fat on the
That's
black
a
market.
great- I mean, now I don't understand what stops someone from like just starting a private membership and calling it like black market bear fat. So,
Funnet.com.
yeah. Well, here's another idea. Here's another business idea, especially for meeting people, like single people meeting each other. Because right before, like, when the COVID pandemic thing was declared by Donald Trump, remember there was like a national crisis?
I didn't hear when the gavel hit. I'm not
March
sure.
2020.
Okay.
The Valentine's Day before that, I had this idea of hosting a breaking normal sensory deprivation speed dating experience on Valentine's Day. And that blew my mind. What we did, long story short, people came in like blindfolded. Imagine like 7 guys, 7 girls. And at first you line them up with blindfolds and they don't know who they're across. And it's only talking, right? That's one round. And then after each round, 0 to 5, they rate their connection. And we're like taking all the scores and creating an algorithm in the background. Then there was one where you just smell each other. You can only smell each other, right? There's one then where it's only touching, but nothing sexual. It's like you can just shake hands, you can high fives, you can just try to find each other's fingers. You can not touch
What is
each
between
other.
the individuals?
Blindfolds. They're on blindfolds.
Okay, so you can't actually have contact.
You can, yeah. Like there's one where you can touch, but you're blindfolded, so you can like ask for a hug, you can ask for a handshake, whatever.
And
it
they're
is.
talking at that point.
Yeah, and they're talking at this one. So like every time there's like a little sensory deprived, and then the final round, what we did is they took their blindfolds off and just looked at each other, no speaking, no touching, just looking at each other, and then like put your head down and give a ranking. And it was like all for this social experiment. It wasn't like no one was looking. It wasn't like people. It wasn't an offensive thing. It was actually one of the trippiest things of my life. And then afterwards, it was just like a big, nice meet and greet gathering, and it was like almost everyone was on acid, but I don't think I don't think anyone was.
So you put that on. You didn't participate.
I was so jealous. That was the tough. I was like so envious, and I had this guy, this like genius guitar player. I can't even think of his name. Maybe he'll be on the show one day from Maui, and he was in town, and he was just like he was just gonna play the mood. So like and it was just like amplifying the mood in this like tight. It was in Taspin's Organics that was like used to be near Whole Foods on Pearl Street. It was wild, and I was like, man, Tinder should hire me. Like any date, this is real. This is like really a way, and I'm so intrigued by how we get to know each other beyond words, actually. Especially in the dating realm, like what makes attraction spark? Like really, like why am I like I've been attracted to a few girls and then I lost attraction so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's some women that I'm just like I've always been attracted to, and it might be hard for me not to be attracted to them in the future. Anyways, that's a little riff. Do you have anything to say about this topic? How is this tied into your life? You want to be a part of that experience?
Yeah, I would love to do that. You've heard the some of those other studies about smells too, right? The way
anything you know, I'm listening.
See, I don't know this. I don't know that.
I have.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought that's where you probably got it.
Yeah.
From.
I think I was partly inspired because there was this social experiment where I think they did a attraction level based on smells only or something, and then like followed I don't know the whole. But the point of the study is that smell might be extremely important to our attraction levels, and it might indicate something much bigger.
Well. The way I understand this one had to do with birth control.
Oh yeah, tell me about what you remember from that, because that's an interesting.
Okay, this is what I remember. I could be totally wrong. This is what I remember though, is that they would have guys wear shirts X amount of time, and then all the females, all they would do would smell the shirts and rate the attractiveness of the odor of the shirts. And I don't know if this was when if there was a control group and a test group that one was on birth control and one was not, or if they followed the one that was on until they were off. But essentially, something along the lines of it demonstrated that those women that were on their olfactory nerves changed some way, that they were found after not being on birth control, or the women who were on birth control in the study, they found like more guys attractive. So when they were off, if I may have got that back, is when they were off birth control, they didn't think those guys smelled good anymore. And I think that the analysis is essentially is that when you're on birth control, it kind of stifles your ability to like you find more men attractive, and you'll just kind of go for or more feminine smells or yeah, I'm not sure actually. We probably should look that up. Jamie, did you?
What?
Did you look? You said you looked it up.
No.
You dude, look it up.
I have
Look
heard
that up.
things
Look up
about-
smell. Look up look up the female smell, and then it's birth control. Those are really the key terms. Let's get it'd be awesome if you actually figure that out, because I don't know exactly what the results of that whole thing was, but it seemed like it was pretty pivotal.
Here, there is information.
Oh, sweet.
Are you going to bring it to him? He's just saying it incognito today. Didn't show his face on camera.
I am Jimmy. No one knows.
It's caviar though, dang. It's
I'll
good.
have to look it up because it's you typed in just male versus female. It was female birth
So
smell.
do you have any current practices with birth control or not birth control that you care to share, or is that not a conversation for you on your side?
Yeah, I think that would be a I don't think that'd be a girl that I think that if her pathway right now is that she's on birth control, it probably wouldn't align with my current like belief system.
Okay,
and,
interesting.
and my some of what what this is suggested that what birth control does too.
So our producer here, now he's getting more involved. He asked why? Why
Yeah.
would you not be interested in someone that? Why don't you think your values would be aligned with a woman that's on birth control?
Some studies suggest that oral contraceptives can influence a woman's olfactory perception and preferences. Specifically, OCPs may decrease the sensitivity to certain smells, particularly social odors and body odors. Influence on male choice. The altered olfactory perception and preferences caused by OCPs may influence a woman's mate selection. For example, women on OCPs may be more likely to find the scent of genetically similar men appealing. Birth control factor. Partner doesn't. I think the thing is, my partner doesn't smell. I see something on Reddit. My partner doesn't smell good to me anymore. Basically, a lot of women report that after they went off birth control, they didn't find their men attractive any longer.
Yeah.
That was one of the big things. Have you heard that?
Yeah, but it's speaking about pregnant too. That after you get pregnant and you have a child, you're not attracted to your partner for a couple of times. So it's the same, like, say, so what? You got to make when you are single to make better life sex.
Was it?
Sex life.
You were saying it's better to be on contraceptives to have better sex life.
Birth control, yeah.
Oh, I thought I was also hearing these says the same happens after they give birth. Could be a similar similar effect to being off birth control.
For
Yeah.
9 weeks, the female most of the time does not want to touch the male.
Sure.
And it could be a lot to do because they might be even like there's a physiological like evolutionary reason that you maybe not should be having sex right after having birth.
Yeah, that one kind of lines up.
Especially
logically.
if there was a traumatic birthing.
The downside is if you went off of birth control and then you weren't attractive to the guy that you were married to any longer.
I definitely see the strategy. If you're like if someone right now is dating a woman long term and they're thinking about getting married and they've been on birth control, maybe if they're going to get off birth control, maybe you should decide about marriage after that.
Yeah,
That's
just
maybe
that post
an
birth
idea.
control attractiveness level. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I mean, all right, here's a question for you. Lubrication. I think organic emu oil, like if I was ever gonna use lube, this is the best one I've found so far.
And that's in some of your.
Yeah, it's in that. But I'm thinking about we could just
You made
market.
you made my warehouse manager blush. She is such a sweet girl, and when she read that,
Oh, about great for baby making. Yeah, well, I think I do think that's it depends on how the situation is. Like definitely on a hot summer day, the tallow could be great, but like in a cold room, the organic emu oil by itself might be the best.
so you haven't tried it. You're just saying hypothetically.
Oh, I've tried it on myself. I'll say that. Yeah,
I actually, I mean, I don't. It almost sounds like a flex, but I'm like, I don't think I've used lube in sex for. I can't remember last time.
Yeah. I don't know that issue. I'm not familiar with that.
Well, I know some people use it, especially maybe if they're doing things that need more lube.
Oh, sure. Yeah. In that case, yeah, I can see that coming in handy for alternative.
Yeah. What time are we at? I'm like, I have no idea because the whole the beginning of before the show. 47. Last time I asked yesterday, it was 47 minutes, and that was also the guy's birthday, 47, and that's my daughter's birthday, and it's our mutual friend's birthday, Alec. I don't know. You know Alec? Yeah. And then Sean Hall's the honey guy. I don't know if you know Sean Hall.
I don't know if I know who Sean Halls is.
Does 47 mean anything to you? And do you make any meanings of numbers?
No. 421 is what I'm looking at right now. That's when hopefully we're going to end that little bike race or bike little challenge thing. And then the next day I'm going to Europe and overseas.
421?
That's my birthday.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go to Europe afterwards.
Yeah.
With who?
It's just leading this tour, chaperone for these guys who just graduated high school, so from these private schools in Houston. And it's their time to finally have a final friends group travel thing. So it's a dozen 18-year-old dudes in Europe doing a Euro trip, and where we take them through 5 or 6 cities.
Is this through your company or
not mine? No, it's just a company that I work with for many years. Just hires me to do it.
Wow,
I've been doing it for several years. I always, I hate taking time from doing my company stuff, but it also is a good opportunity to travel. And then I get to go with my best buddy too. And so I always defend it every time.
You get to go with your best buddy.
My best buddy, the only friend I have from high school. I go with him.
They all do the work together. Y'all are the
we tag team. So we're together the whole time.
How many years have you been doing this? You're
6 or 7 years.
So full of little things that I'm like, what the heck? How do you? That's all right. So 6 or 7 years is always the same trip, or is it different trips?
No, it changes sometimes. And then what we'll do is afterwards we'll have them fly us back from some other random place. So we'll go to some other places, and then because I don't know the next time I would fly to Uganda, but I was like, oh, we can get flights back from Uganda. So then after Europe, we went around and went to Uganda and Rwanda, and then they flew us back.
After
we'll always do a post trip.
And you and your best friend. That's so freaking cool. Where does he live?
Texas.
Okay.
In old Austin.
What's his name?
Sergio.
Yeah.
He's a taco tourist on Instagram.
The taco
tourist on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was so proud of him the other day. So he's just a quote taco influencer, and
wow.
I love him to death. And that's why I can't not do this trip. It's I got to go hang out with my buddy for a couple of weeks. It's a good excuse because we don't see each other otherwise. So you got to make time for those things, and you usually don't unless you have something that's convenient like this. So we spent a whole month together. But he's just influenced. He does other stuff too. He's a financial guy, but he's a taco influencer on Instagram. Here's what happened the other day. He sent me a little screenshot, and guess what famous podcaster is following old Sergio, the taco tourist in Austin?
Man, Joe Rogan, come on. Yes. Good job, taco tourist.
Yeah.
The taco tourist.
I think so.
All right, someone can look it up and find it at that point. Sergio.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sergio.
Yeah.
And that's so cool that y'all are doing that. So what how can you summarize that trip real quickly?
We'll go east to west. So we start in Amsterdam, and then we'll go to east. So we'll hit up some of the main countries, France and Germany and Switzerland, and then maybe end up in
all
Hungary.
in train or a car?
Yeah,
or?
we almost always take trains.
And is the itinerary already set?
Yeah.
By this company?
Mm-hmm.
Are you allowed to share the company?
Yeah, it's called Third Rock. They cater specifically to private schools in Houston, Dallas area stuff.
Okay, Third Rock. Wow. And that's so cool.
Yeah. I would have loved to have done that. It's really cool to see these guys. These are affluent individuals, and I've had other groups that had bodyguards following the whole time because some of the people are they're high up assets, and so they've had bodyguards go with them the entire time.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of families who are affluent and well known, and you might get snobby about these guys who have these 18-year-old boys, but honestly, they're better than me most of the time. When I was 18.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. They're 18-year-old, all men,
they find
all
trouble.
boys. You can drink legally. You can drink.
Oh, they find everything.
So you can do.
They do everything.
You can do it. Okay.
It's not when they get in trouble, it's if and how.
Especially you're starting in Amsterdam.
Yeah, we started in Amsterdam.
That's where I first got into what most parents would call trouble.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of wild, and so yeah, it goes. It's wild, and that the whole time while we're with them, yeah, it's just kind of a roller coaster ride of, yeah, just waiting for the next thing to hit, and then you kind of fix the situation. Yeah, so I do that, and then afterwards we will this year we'll be going to we'll finish in like Hungary, and I think, and then we'll go to Turkey, and then we'll go to Ethiopia from like the old places.
You two, just after the trip, just you
and two other
Wow, tell me those spots. Where were they?
Ethiopia and Turkey. Wow. Yeah.
I want to go to Turkey. I've seen all these like hot springs in Turkey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know what you're doing in Turkey?
Are they hammams in Turkey?
I don't know anything about them, but I just
it's
know
probably hot springs too. I don't know if we're going to any hot springs, but we're going to some of these just the ancient ruins.
Oh gosh, wow. Yeah. That sounds so
and then
exciting.
Ethiopia, it's like the ancient church, like that's where the Eastern Orthodox Church was kind of mainly founded. Some of the oldest. That's where they talk about there's a big group of people who claim that the Ark of the Covenant's there. It's a very, very old area, obviously. And that's where they found a lot of even some of the oldest hominids and stuff. So I do that and go play with the tribes and come back.
Play with tribes in what way?
I think we're going to do several cool little traditional like tribal things. There's just something where you run on the back of bulls. We're going to try and time it so we can do that.
Run on the back. And which one is this, or where would this be at?
I think it's in the southern part
of
Ethiopia.
Okay, of Ethiopia. Yeah. Okay, so you run on the back of bulls is like
fun thing? You run across the back of the bull.
I think
so they're like lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you try and see how far you can get running.
Wow. And just as like an initiation type of fun game?
I haven't gotten that far. I thought it sounded great. And I guess when I get there, they'll tell me what the significance of it is. But I like those, any kind of those. We don't, did you ever do any kind of initiations or anything? Manhood initiations or?
Not officially. Not officially. I mean, I would say that what I really think the biggest initiation to manhood for me on like that type of level was getting so bullied as a freshman high school baseball player.
Really?
From the older baseball players.
Like borderline, you call that hazing? Or
I alchemized it somehow. I lasted a year, and then it like became the whole legacy of my baseball history of like going to another school, beating that team for the first time in like 14 years. And I hit a grand slam and I pitched the game. And it was like, but there was something that really woke me up to being a man during that experience. But it was not like, this is like my dad or uncle, like taking me on a hunting trip or something like that.
It was like surviving this kind of like
for a full year, like being committed to like the passion of playing baseball and figuring out how to navigate like the issues of other people.
What drove you to be like to try to excel at the highest level with that?
I was good at it, and I think I was kind of pushed into it.
But sometimes when people are good at things, they're good enough. And did you go past your point of good? Like, did you hit a point where you were, maybe a varsity before the average or whatever? You were doing well, getting starting positions. Did you still continue to push yourself beyond, even though there was maybe not competition?
Yeah.
I'm always curious about that.
Yeah. I think what shifted, I thought I was going to, like, my main idea of going to college was to play baseball.
Okay.
And did you play baseball by any chance? Do you know?
A little bit.
Okay. So like when I was sophomore, I was throwing 81, junior throwing 86.
You were a pitcher mostly?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking I would go to college for.
Oh.
And then, although my first varsity bat ever, 10th grade, I hit a home run. That was kind of fun. So I had a nice swing too. I could hit some home runs. I had a nice big swing, and I could throw hard. And then I hurt my shoulder. Like I thought I was going to gain I was going to make myself weigh 220 pounds, and I thought I could throw 90 miles per hour. And then every college will want me.
You were like lifting heavy weights.
Lifting heavy weights and eating a bunch of stupid stuff. Getting protein from fast food restaurants, basically like Taco Hell. And the KFC chicken, whatever the bucket thing was, I was just like looking like an idiot looking at I'm not trying to call other people, but I was just like trusting labels like a sheep and like getting protein. But I got so inflamed and I got a shoulder injury. And then I think when that shoulder injury happened, I kind of lost. They wanted to do surgery on me. Like they offered the surgery, and I was like, what? like, you missed your senior year of baseball, but you can be able to throw maybe faster in the college year. I'm like, no, I'd rather play baseball. I don't need surgery. And the MRI was like one of the most invasive things that I've ever allowed.
They have to go inside.
They stuck this freaking dye and all this scar tissue in my shoulder. I'm like, yeah, you have an impingement. Like, it's great for baseball. Like, you're so loose up there, but when you're throwing so much, you're creating all this inflammation. We'll just like scope that out. You know, people like a lot. It seems like seemingly a lot of doctors hand out surgery like they hand out candy at like mechanic shop, like dum-dums. It's like, yeah, we can do this for you. We can do that. I'm like,
well, it's a surgeon. They literally walk around with them like a knife. You know, they're looking for
I'm not saying all are like that, but I kind of felt
my
like
dad. My dad was in the medical industry, and he likes to. He says that phrase. Like he worked with surgeons, and he says that like. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they went to school for. That's what they love to do. They want to cut up in it. So like,
I know, in a senior guy at baseball, like someone could have just told me, like, stop eating canola oil, you idiot. Like, if someone could have told me that.
Not when you're holding a knife.
It took me a while. Like, stop eating fast food. Like, get your
you
freaking
learned that
steaks
at some point. You think?
Yeah, oh yeah. Because then what happened in college? My friends, I was living with a state championship tennis player, another state championship tennis player, this like Iranian beastly dude. And just like, hilarious other guys. And they were like, let's have a bodybuilding competition for spring break. And so we had like 3 months to get up to, and that's when I learned about nutrition. That's when I was like, oh, like, what the heck? Like, oh, and when I then after that, I did a raw vegan diet with my brothers for like years on and off in the month, like one time 7 months straight. That's where I learned the most about nutrition. But it's sparked for the bodybuilding competition in college.
What is your body like on raw vegan diet?
Oh, I see. I was probably coming off a little bit of an inflammation diet, so I was probably like 200 pounds, and we all lost a pound a day for the first like 15 days, and just felt amazing.
Felt good and energetic,
like a freaking hummingbird, like with the Holy Grail. We found the Holy Grail, but we were eating the best. Like we learned, we were eating the best like raw, organic fruits in season. And spending a lot of time in like Costa Rica and Central America, and this is really drinking a lot of coconut water. So we were doing a lot of things right that can really clean someone out for I would recommend that for most people for 6 months, but not for a young guy to continue beyond that if you're in your young 20s. At least for any of us, because my youngest brother was like competing at a national level of swimming, and he's the one that was like, I can't do this anymore.
He could tell that his performance was going down.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. And then he drank 6 gallons of raw milk a week for about 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and became a freaking gladiator, and has never gone back. He's kind of built like me, but 20 pounds heavier and probably like 18 pounds of muscle.
And he's still in that high protein diet.
Well, less milk, and now like he's doing more like meat, less milk and more meat. Okay. I think. Yeah, you've never seen my brother, have you?
I think I did. Was he there the other day?
No,
I've seen a guy that looks just like you. Is that
maybe that's brother? The guy that had the bear fat?
Have you had a brother around?
Like a few times, but not recently at all. I have 2 brothers. The middle brother's smaller, but he's a pickleball like pro. He might as well go pro now.
I'm pretty sure I've met your brother. It may not have been the other day, but I remember a guy that I'm pretty sure you introduced as your brother, and he looked a lot like you.
That's the guy that ate the bear fat.
He wasn't around, was he? I don't think he was there. I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah. But it was another time, is what I'm saying, I think.
Okay.
And I think we may have even cold plunged with him or something. I can't remember what we were even doing.
Wow, maybe you're right.
It's a different time, though.
I've done a lot of cold plunges with them. Do you have siblings?
I have one sister, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's she doing right now?
She's a nurse anesthetist in Austin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I gleaned once again is like you seem to be pretty proactive about living an epic life.
I just like that theme that if you don't get what you don't ask for, you don't like go towards. Works for me. Like taking a couple things that you really want to do and like focusing on those. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I just think most people that listen to this and learn about you for say the first time, they're like, this guy's really doing something cool. Have you always been this way?
I've always been doing something cool.
Yeah, like have you always like seen life this way? Like when I think about when I was thinking about myself in high school, just eating fast food to gain weight so I could throw a fastball faster. I'm definitely very different than I was then.
I had such a Gary Vee talks about this, and I think I had kind of one of the secret sauces he has. I had really, really supportive parents. That was so awesome. super, super supportive. But also, so there was this pull and push for me my entire life where they didn't push real hard. They only pushed when I was really underperforming myself, but the pull was just to make them happy, make them proud. And so a lot of the things that I wanted to do. And so I knew I was meeting there, and we always talked very clearly, like with how proud they were of me and how much I was so thankful of them. So
They always talk about that, how
yeah.
proud they are.
Oh,
of you.
my mom, like,
Come on, parents, take notes.
you can't say it enough. Here's another secret. That
They
might get,
use that word. I'm proud of
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Which is
so-
different than like pride, right? Would you? Doesn't that sound and feel different? Because it's not
like having pride versus
yeah, you know when you think of like the one of this deadly sins, like pride. It's like I don't think that doesn't feel sinful.
yeah.
For me,
Well-
a parent to feel proud, it actually feels the opposite. It feels like one of the most loving things. I'm just like, anyways.
Yeah. Well, I would even argue that I don't think it's that bad to be proud of yourself either. Too. Sometimes people, at Seven Deadly Sins, pride. I get it that, I mean, there's so many proverbs out there, pride before a fall or whatever.
Yeah, that
There's
one.
tons of them.
That one's particularly strong.
I think those are probably
this
like
culture.
types of pride, but I think being proud of yourself, looking back and acknowledging that who you were at a certain time, you did a thing that you're proud that you made that decision, that like it aligns with the integrity you still have today. And I think there's times that I'm not proud of myself for sure. I did not align with who I am today, but back in the day, I have to also have grace for myself. It was like yesterday I was that person. I'm not that thing anymore. Like I'm not going to drag that person into my present moment or my future. Like I want to learn from that previous moment, but I also want to look back and be able to look upon that, not only learn from it, but also see that as a different person than me and have grace on that thing. Does that, when you look back at yourself, do you kind of really have grace on like the person that you were in the past and
I
the mistakes you made?
somehow I believe I do, and I bet that's from having supportive parents as well. A lot of that's probably from having supportive parents. They they had grace on me. My parents had a few little rules, and even like very few. There's like a lot of trust, a lot of transparency, and a few big mess ups. And when I messed up big, they were just not. It was like he's like they already knew I was punishing myself. So, and not in a bad way. It was just like he learned his lesson. So I think there's probably a connection between how graceful they were with me as how graceful I am on my past self and current self and future
like
self.
That is such a good connection. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so where are your parents at currently?
Dad is in Texas. He lives on a little ranch, and like that dream little Texas 75-acre ranch where he gets to play cowboy. And then my mom passed away about a year and a half ago, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was
She's a little bit everywhere. I sprinkled a little bit everywhere. She's all over the place.
Like literally?
Yeah, like I put her in a casino on the cruise ship. The other day, I slid some of her ashes underneath a one-armed bandit, and I won immediately afterwards. It was so awesome. I put the ashes. I scooted her under, and then just in her honor, I was like, okay, I'll pull the thing down, play, and I ended up winning $350. And the thing was, it was going ding 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 ding, and it shut off. And I was like, and I flagged down the guy, and I was like, excuse me, sir, like it just shut off. I was winning. I promised I was winning. Like it had like, because it kept on just going up and up, and I didn't know how. I've never done a slot machine like that, and I just saw the numbers going up, and then 300 plus, and then when it shut off, and the guy was like, oh no, it's closed down. And I looked around, and everything was closed. That was the last pull, and nobody was supposed to even in there. And there's hundreds of slot machines, whatever. That was the last pull of the night. They were closing down, and so my last little pull, it shut down mid winning. I mean, I was still able to get my winnings, and so I won. So yeah, my mom's she's under some slot machine on a casino ship.
What was her birthday? Do you know?
Yeah, her birthday's coming up. It's gonna be August 13th.
August 13th.
Oh, sorry, July 27th.
Oh,
August 13th is her second birthday.
Okay. Yeah, what's your belief around that? I mean, you seem to have a very...
I had some special things happen afterwards. And some very supernatural things happened. It was incredible. And not what's really super cool is that something happened to me, and when it was happening, I got the spark to like videotape the thing that was happening, like video with my cell phone, and the thing happened. I got it on video, and I wanted to get it on video because I felt like it was something from a message from my sister and my dad, and it was an incredible thing, very very awesome, supernatural, special thing that happened from the beyond, and I was able to like video it, and so. It's also one of those things I look back and I actually even have the like literal evidence of it. So I got to have some very special.
Are you able to clarify what that is, or?
I don't. Yeah, no, it would be a longer story. Maybe another time I would feel comfortable. Also, it would require me like showing the thing. It's very special, and I've showed some people. My family. I think it was a very special thing that was a gift from my family too, to get to see, to experience a wink. Well, even beyond that, very special thing. It's really cool. So I had a few of those. I had a few like really special things that happened to me, that were what people call a religious experience, a spiritual experience, a supernatural experience.
So is the camera, the casino? Do you
Those are
care
some.
to
There's a
share
lot of. There was
another one.
Which one?
Anyone? Do you care to share any other one that's on your heart?
I'll do one more.
Okay.
I'll do one more. I'll do two more. So you never think you're going to be doing this moment. And I was actually, preparing for your mom's funeral, especially this one. By the way, my mom probably died from the vaccine. So we'll never know, but she just collapsed, and it was a heart thing. And she got vaccinated, and we all know that was the only reason I even thought of that. I was pretty anti-vaccine. I didn't want to get it, but I don't care if my mom or dad got it or whatever. They felt like they really needed it. And my dad, we were driving somewhere. My dad and my sister were driving somewhere, and all three of us. And somebody called on the speakerphone, like in the car. My dad's like talking to a friend or something. And him and my sister are very medically minded. They both were nurse anesthetists, anesthesiologists. And both of them vaccinated, and I think believed the vaccination was very helpful for them and other people or whatever. My sister had her kids even vaccinated, so they were on that side. I'm definitely on the other side of the aisle on that. But when we're in the car, the conversation, the guy was like asking about my mom, and my dad was like, yeah, she just went over. She fell over. And they don't know, it's a heart thing, and he said this. He said, I don't know, me and Julie were talking, my sister. And he's like talking about them too, and I'm in the backseat. But he's like, yeah, me and Julie were talking. And, it was like one of those, it was like that time when those sports players were all collapsing. Do you remember that?
I remember,
You heard that in the news?
yeah. I remember seeing even
bizarre
some
thing?
an alarming amount of those
Young
things.
sports players then you can watch the stats. It's not like this, that we saw more news articles about it. It was statistically an anomaly. There's a lot of statistical anomalies happened during that time period, but that's one. And he mentioned, yeah, it was kind of like that weird thing. Well, for me and a certain sect of people, we attribute that to the vaccine. Like there's documentaries that have followed those sports players, and that's the conclusion I'd already previously had, is that was the correlation. And so when he said that, I thought, oh, wow, because we've been sitting here scratching our heads the whole time. The autopsy came back like with nothing, and she just fell over. She was up in the morning, and she just like fell over, nothing. Had no previous heart issues or any other kind of issues. And so probably died. My mom probably died from the vaccine, and that's at least my belief. So it was unexpected. I was going in a different direction, but it was an unexpected thing. And but I think I was taking it really well, because I'd had some of these special moments. And I don't know if I'd had that one that I was telling you that I recorded earlier, but I was on the dock on a ranch, and I was writing. This is the last thing I want to do, is like write a speech. Mom just passed away a few days ago, and about to go give a speech at the church. You never think you're going to do it. That's always the story. I was actually in Canada with my dad, because he was the one who's had all the health issues. And so I was spending as much time with my dad, thinking he was going to be, he wasn't going to have much longer. And that's when my mom, we were on an island in Canada, away from any cell service, sat service, or anything else. They had to get us with a float plane. And so that was where I was with my dad, thinking that. So that was what I thought was the worst case scenario. in my life. I was literally doing the thing because I was like, I have much longer with my dad. I'm going to spend as much time as I can with him. Never would have thought that one like didn't even cross my mind that my mom, would get that notice. So, but I think I really stepped up to it, and even though that's usually not my thing, and she would have been okay with me not getting up and doing a speech, I was like, I just feel this. You got one moment in life to do this thing. You got to step up and do it. So I'm like at the dock. It's a beautiful day, bright, beautiful, sunny day. And I've got a Spotify on, just a random Spotify going through songs. And one of the things, like my mom I'd gotten her to write a memoir. Like previously, I highly recommend this. This is a thing that I'd had her do. Every week she'd get a new question. She'd answer that question. She's putting it in her book. She's putting pictures and stuff, and she just finished it. Right before she passed away. And so in that book, it has like, what is your favorite song or whatever, and her favorite song is You Are My Sunshine, especially her dad playing on a harmonica. And at both her dad and her brother's funeral, we played the O Brother, Where Art Thou music soundtrack. It's a great funeral soundtrack, by the way. It's a banger. You can just play it all the way through, dude. It's such a good soundtrack. We played it on both of them. When in doubt, just put at a funeral, just put on Oh Brother, Where Art Thou soundtrack. It's so good. And there's I think it's like Alison Krauss or something. She sings on there, You Are My Sunshine, on that one. And I'm on the dock. I'm writing this. I'm just crying, writing this obituary note or whatever you want to call it, speech at my mom's funeral. And I don't know what station I'm playing. The song stops halfway and skips to You Are My Sunshine. That one, the Alison Krauss one. And it stopped mid-song. It doesn't happen on Spotify. You don't stop mid-song and like skip to another song. And it wasn't the same radio station or whatever. And that was just so freaking cool. And that was when I like got that little wink. What's up? Oh, cool. Dude, it was an obvious sign. The Spotify songs you don't just skip from. I probably had a rock station on, dude, some sort. And then this thing had happened where there was a couple different reasons, but this number 1135, this time 1135, was a special moment for me. The time, and there's a couple of reasons, but it's even this sun tattoo has that kind of built into it in some certain symbolic ways. And I get up to go give this speech, and this is like the thing, and this is really where I think this is the thing I'd always thought about I thought about for like the last 6 years. I'd heard a quote from somewhere. I think it was like Jung, could have been Jordan Peterson, but it was, the day you become a man is the day you speak at your dad's funeral. And so I always thought that was, and I love my dad, but that was what I was preparing for. I'd heard that. So I was, for the last like 5 years, I've been getting ready for that moment and envisioning me walking up the stage and giving a speech to my dad's, but this was my mom's. And so I got this little speech, and it's my turn to go up, and I put the speech down, and I think my speech was like written on my cell phone too. So I put the cell phone down, and boom, it's 11:35 when I walk on the stage. And so like, I was like, thanks, Mom. And I went up there, and I went back and I watched the video. I thought, you black out in those moments. I went back, and I'm very proud of the way that I conducted myself, and that, and I had like, I stepped up in that moment. And I think, although it's going to be super hard to lose my dad too, I didn't realize it'd be that hard to lose my mom. But then when you think about it, I spent a lot of time with my mom when I was younger. She was a stay-at-home mom, incredible mom. And but that's the body before you're even born. Like that's the oldest. That's 9 months you've known this thing. So I don't know what comes out of that. Like some of those, I think that the universe is funny when I think about how like this lot coming and done, and how beautiful. Sometimes there's like a little jokester behind the wheel of this, the cogs of this universe. To me, that was almost like it was beautiful to me that I'd been preparing what I thought the worst case scenario was my dad passing, and turned out to be my mom. And it was like, when it happened, I almost like immediately when it came out, I was like, Oh, you got me. I was so yeah. I think the let go thing that you were kind of speaking to earlier of like not not trying to squeeze the life of water too tight because it's always going to squeeze out of your hands. It's funny how ironic the source energy is.
Yeah. Wow. 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 What's your mom's name?
Cheryl.
Cheryl. Shout out to Cheryl.
Oh, she was incredible. I gotta say, like we tallied it up later. So she wasn't just my mom. She only had two official biological kids, me and my sister. There was 23 people who had lived in her house. She just always like adopted people. She had so many like kids that literally were like foster kids and people that would stay when they were going to college. She was a mom to 23 plus people like in the house. Yeah, she was an incredible woman.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm imagining we're way past 1 hour and 11.
Yeah.
And my notebook is blank.
Yeah.
That's
Well, thanks for letting. Hey, thank you for
that
letting
might
me.
be the first time that's happened.
Thanks for letting me talk about my mom. That makes me very happy. She was very special to me, and I always want to keep her memory.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, I don't have much to say. I just want to listen to it again, basically. And I'm excited that you shared it as well.
Yeah.
I think that'd be very impactful for a lot of people in a very meaningful way with their moms. Oh, yeah, and it was funny too how you made the distinguishment of like biological children because I was like to kind of come put this close for now, at least with the recording. I was kind of marinating on the thing about what I was talking about like a wife and children, and I do want as many children as God wants to give me, and biological, and I love supporting other children too. And I'm not attached to whatever that looks like, but I do want that in like a healthy way, and to raise those children like with their mom is my dream.
I got the whole like worldwide wife search. Truth be told, that was because after my mom's funeral, because all she wanted was grandkids, and I never gave her grandkids. And so after that, I was like, all right, I'm late to the game, but I'm gonna try and make up for it.
And then, in the physical realm, if we're just talking about physical things, the thing I'm most thankful, like the honor of my lifetime is Davina.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And I want that for others, and I want more of that for me if divinely aligned, and I want to go for it too. So appreciate the inspiration on so many levels, and the cool gear, wazoogear.com, WAZOO gear.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Anything else from anybody else, or are we good? What was our time on this one? I'm curious.
117.
117. Nice. I like it. To be continued. I wish you the best in Georgia.
Thanks,
maybe I'll get to link up with some of my family. Maybe I'll get to see my mom. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I'd like to go hang out with your mama.
I would love that. I would love that. Maybe I'll send you on a little side mission before your full one.
All I'm gonna have though is a bike to get around. So heads up.
Oh yeah, my brother might be able to help you out a little bit. I want them to get like some beehives and stuff on their property.
Oh, Hardin! I have the bee guy. He's got patents on bee stuff. Hardin Hill Honey. Jim Hardin over there. He's
in Georgia.
He's in Watkinsville.
In Watkinsville. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Bob Rooney. That's what I call my dad.